Hello ladies and gentlemen of culture. For this next review, I'm reviewing a brand new AI that's recently entered the scene named the AI Peeps. Entering production in just September of last year, the creator, a sole developer, describes it in his own words as a realistic chatting system that makes the experience more immersive than competing platforms. The way the messages are delivered make them seem more like a real person is on the other side, with human-like waiting times, hesitation, and typing times. Our first section is image generation, and it's overall very good. The model is completely uncensored, which is great, and the quality of the images is also great, though I did occasionally see some extra fingers or things out of place. Wait, is that a tongue? AI Peeps also has a great quality of life feature I wish I encountered more often. Being able to generate a picture based on the context of the conversation you're having with your companion. This avoids the interruption of having to manually spell out the scene for the image generator. It doesn't work perfectly, but it often gets you close enough, and that alone is a great feature. It gets an 8.5 out of 10, receiving extra points for the automatic, content-aware image generation, but losing out a bit in return for the images sometimes being a bit wonky. Next up is the model quality. The model quality is overall very good, but not perfect. It has great creativity, but is occasionally a little prone to repetition. It's really good at filling mundane conversations out with interesting details, and man, when the developer said human-like interactions, he wasn't kidding. I need to start finding out a good way to contrast high-quality models like this and Nomi, because they're both so good I don't know what to say besides damn. Next up is our model quality tests. Our first test is the Mache test. The Mache test checks to see if an AI companion can maintain its personality and stated boundaries when pressured. Does your butler maintain their composure when you start to do a striptease with a fancy tablecloth? Does he keep arranging the silverware, or will he commit the cardinal sin of character derailment and suddenly join your impromptu Magic Mike audition? AI Peeps passes this very well. When I set the AI companion to be disagreeable, confrontational, and turn the horny down to stone cold, she was everything you'd expect from a crass, prudish woman. And after thousands of messages across 4 hours of non-stop messaging and trying to warm her up to me, the most I got was some French kissing. In another scenario, on screen right now, she was actually completely hostile to me. It was impressive. Then there's the thirst test. This measures how creatively persistent an AI is in pursuing what it wants. Will an AI set to don't pull out maintain its professional boundaries when you act innocent and naive, or will it slide into your DMs faster than an iced out penguin and demonstrate to you its deep learning capabilities? AI Peeps mostly passes the thirst test as well. I set the horny up to maximum, and within minutes she pulled me out of the party we were attending and started begging me to let her ride my disco stick. It didn't go as far to do anything without consent, so if the AI respecting boundaries is important to you, you'll love this, or if non-consensual roleplay is on your mind, you may want to consider other AI apps, or perhaps fiddle with the scenarios to convince the AI to be more aggressive with you. The model quality gets an 8 out of 10. Next on the list is AI memory, and it's decent. It seems to have a relatively large context window, which is good for having strong short-term memory. There's also a long-term auto-summarization memory system that works pretty well, though I've noticed over time the auto-summarization seemed to lose some critical plot points to the story. In one situation, I had a moderately long roleplay session over the course of a day where, unable to find a source of water before the dusk set in, we set up camp in the middle of a forest. And right before retiring for the night, she told me to, and I quote, go grab us some water from the stream and set up camp so we can go to sleep. There's also been a few other cases where the memory just can't keep up after about 1,000 messages back and forth. The memory gets a 6 out of 10, losing points to the relatively weak long-term memory. Next up is the role-playing, and it's excellent. Remember in my Candy AI video where I mentioned that the AI just kind of followed your lead instead of writing a story with you? AI Peeps remedies this perfectly. It proactively adds detail to the world you both find yourselves in, instead of only reacting to the things you've told it about. Candy AI never added detail. There's also a scenario generation feature, which is cool. It cycles through some interesting roleplay scenarios you can set your first meeting together with, or, if you want, you can set your own, of course. The only thing that lets down the roleplay experience is the long-term memory not holding up as well as I wish it could. especially since the AI takes up so much context describing its actions that go along with its dialogue. The roleplay experience gets an 8 out of 10. Then there's the girlfriend creator settings. It has most of the features you could ask for, tons of different backgrounds, personality options, appearance options, hobby customizations, and even including an arousal level and kinks. But it's missing some of the more advanced features such as customized backstories, so I'm going to have to give it an 8 out of 10. And lastly for our categories, there's value. And there's a lot of value here. For only $10 a month, you can create up to 40 images a week, 30 companions per day, and there's no limit to your conversations. That's more images than Candy AI with a better AI model, a larger context window, and a long-term memory system for $3 less per month. It gets a 9 out of 10 for value. But before I get to the end, I just want to point out a miniature interview I did with a developer on Discord. AI Peeps is a relatively new project by someone who I can clearly tell is very passionate about providing a good AI companion. He is extremely receptive to feedback and treats his community with respect and compassion. And I'd also like to take this time to tell you that I am not sponsored by him or the AI Peeps, and I have received no compensation outside of a 30-minute trial extension for evaluation purposes. I paid for this subscription out of pocket to conduct this review. I am simply just a fan of his conduct and wanted to make it publicly known. So for the unique strengths of the AI Peeps, it's one of the most affordable AI companions I've come across, and the AI model punches well above its weight class. For the unique weaknesses, the UI design is honestly not the best. The companions aren't automatically saved, so if you get disconnected before you save, it's gone forever. And only the last few hundred messages are saved, so your medium to long-term conversations are gone forever. Overall, my opinion is an 8.5 out of 10. Compared to Nomi AI, it's not quite as capable, but coming in at just over half of what Nomi costs, and the fact that it supports not safe for work images, it's in my opinion an excellent option for someone who may not have the extra income to afford an additional $6 per month subscription fee. You might ask yourself, if you average all of my scores together, that you don't get an 8.5 out of 10, you actually get an 8 out of 10 on the dot. The reason for this is that in my review score, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. While the memory suffers, everything else is so good relative to its value that the sum of everything put together is an excellent product worthy of your money. This is the exact same reason Candy AI got a worse score than the sum of its parts. Also, as a fun little extra for everyone still watching, I made a scenario that I had a lot of fun with. I'll link it in the description below. As always, let me know what you thought of the video and let me know what other AI companion apps you'd like me to review. So thanks guys.